Alright, so again, Stuart, that's why, you know, we do a bad joke so that it's only up from here. So we have Stuart Schmidt, who's the program manager for the Center Foundation. My bio that I have for you is an athletic training program for youth. We'll talk about the goals and the programs and more benefits than just physical. So Stuart, welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. I've got a few props I'm going to put out really quick first. And then just drop something. There we go. So this will all make sense in just a moment. I promise you the melons, you're probably wondering why I put melons on the table. That will make sense in a little bit. But I guess first off, I just want to start off by saying thank you for the opportunity to be here today. I'm excited to present to you guys. And you know, my name is Stuart. I'm the program manager for the Center Foundation. And my goal today is one, I want to tell you guys, if you're not familiar with the Center Foundation, I want to educate you guys, fill you in a little bit about who we are, what we do, and some of our programs. Specifically, I have one program that I want to talk to you guys about and share with you today, and that's called our Train Your Brain program, which involves the stuff I have here on the table, which I'll get to a little bit. But for starters, at the Center Foundation, we are a full 501c3 nonprofit that's based out of Bend. And our whole focus, our mission is about promoting health and safety for kids in our community. And we do that by providing them access to sports medicine care, sports medicine services, and injury prevention, awareness, and education. And we have a vision to be able to provide these services to all youth across Central Oregon. We do this through a number of ways, and these are our four different programs. Our four programs, our sports medicine program, our education program, brain trust, and mental health program. And they're pictured up here right now like pictures of a puzzle or pieces of a puzzle because they all interconnect and feed off each other and complement each other. So none of these four programs operate individually on their own. They're all interconnected. But our flagship program that I really want to highlight. So I'm not going to spend time going over all of our programs, but especially our sports medicine program is our largest program. It's our flagship program, and revolves around putting athletic trainers in the local high schools here in Central Oregon. So we have athletic trainers in all the high schools in Bend, LaPine, Sisters, Kirk County, and Madras. And they go out to the schools on a daily basis and provide on-site medical care for all the student athletes participating in sports. They evaluate injuries when they happen. They put together a rehabilitation plan, treatment plan, and then manage concussions as well too. So they really are at the first line of defense for injuries that happen after school hours playing sports. Not everyone is aware of athletic trainers and who we are and what we do. So I put this slide up there to really kind of help educate and bring awareness to the profession of athletic trainers and who we are. People hear the term trainer and they get us mixed up with personal trainers because the word trainer is kind of a misnomer and doesn't really accurately reflect what we do. But we as athletic trainers and myself are allied healthcare professionals. We have to go through a national board exam process, a certification process, state licensure, all those standards to be able to practice in our states as athletic trainers. We have a variety of skills in everything from orthopedic injury evaluation, emergency management, therapeutic rehabilitation, injury prevention, general medical awareness and evaluation too. So we really are like kind of a jack of all trades type of profession that specializes in treating physically active populations, and especially we're considered experts, especially in the area of concussion management, concussion awareness, and concussion prevention too. So that's our sports medicine program, but more importantly, I wanted to talk to you guys about our Train Your Brain program. And Train Your Brain is kind of a mix of our brain trust program and our education program, and it consists about where we go out to every elementary school in Central Oregon and we present to the third grade students in particular about the importance of helmet safety and why the kids should wear helmets to protect their brains. So it was It was raised over several years ago due to kind of the alarming increase in head injuries in youth, especially preventable head injuries from kids riding their bikes or scooters or skateboards, getting in crashes and getting head and brain injuries, which are easily preventable by wearing a helmet. And so that's where our program was born, and is really the focus of our program, is about how we can prevent those injuries in youth. So we picked third grade students in particular as kind of our target age and target group, because we felt that third grade students, when they hit that age, they're mature, they're just starting to get mature enough that they can kind of understand the importance of the topic, understand the importance of, about the brain and what the brain does to you and why they should wear a helmet. But it's also they're at an impressionable age too, where they're just starting to kind of gain some independence, go out on their own, ride bikes with their friends, kind of separating themselves from their parents at that time. And so they're prone to being influenced by their friends not wearing a helmet, their parents or older siblings not wearing a helmet. And so we really want to catch them at that young, impressionable age and educate them about the importance of why they need to wear a helmet. And so not only do we teach them about why their brain's important and why they should protect their brains, but then we teach them how to take care of their helmets, and then also how to make sure that their helmets fit properly. The highlight of our program is at the end of it, every kid that does not have or needs a new helmet, we give out a free helmet to every kid that needs a new helmet. And so we have a team, our staff members, and then our team of volunteers go out, and each kid that needs a helmet, we properly fit them with a helmet fitted specifically for that individual, and then they go home with that free helmet. Very similar, actually exactly the same as this helmet that I have up here. We'll see if the sound works. I have a little video that we play during the spring, so we do this every year in the spring, that airs on TV and on radio stations, kind of educating people about what the program is. So I'll play that for you guys.
Enter Foundation wants to help you train your brain to practice safety when biking, boarding, or enjoying your favorite sports on wheels. Did you know wearing a helmet reduces the risk of head injury by 88%? Be the example and wear it properly. 2 fingers above the eyebrows, 1 between the strap and chin, and the strap should make a V under your ears. The Center Foundation presents Train Your Brain, a regional program educating over 2,000 kids on how to prevent brain injuries. For more tips and information, visit centerfoundation.org.
So that really kind of highlights kind of the, some of the basic facts about the importance of wearing a helmet. One, like we said, we share that with the kids, that just the simple act of wearing a helmet can reduce brain injuries by up to 88%. You saw that on that video. There's a couple of little tips that we teach the students on how to make sure that their helmet fits properly. So we go over that. We also give them some basic tests that they can run themselves to make sure that their helmet fits properly, and then we go through that again to help them make sure that their helmet fits properly. Our next slide, so let me present this slide. So really the highlight of our program, in addition to the fact that we give out free helmets, is we do a demonstration at the end of each presentation to really drive home the importance of wearing a helmet in a way that the kids can kind of catch on. And I'd like to do that demonstration for you guys here today. So that's why we have our melons, and I am going to get out my drop cloth, or safety cloth. But for this demonstration, I need a volunteer. So can I get a volunteer? Come on up.
As long as you don't drop my brain.
Oh, of course not. If you'll do me a favor and just help me spread this out really quick first. I have a feeling you have an idea of what we're going to do. So we'll just lay that down there. And so go ahead and stand up here with me. So you're going to help me out here. I've got 2 melons. I need a name for this melon.
A name for this melon?
Yeah.
Michael.
Michael, okay. Yeah, I hope there's no one named Michael in this room here today, is there? So we've got this melon here. Its name is Michael. So we're going to teach Michael how to make sure that his helmet fits properly. So we got this helmet. Michael learned all about the importance of wearing a helmet to protect its brain. So first rule that Michael learned was to always wear his helmet. So he's going to put his helmet on because he knows that it's important to always wear his helmet. When he puts his helmet on, he knows to snug it up in the back. We get it nice and snug. And then he learned the test. It's called the yes-no test on how to make sure that the helmet fits is nice and snug. So he's going to nod. Well, he's going to nod yes and no. The helmet doesn't move around, so he knows it's good to go. Next test that Michael's going to do is going to do the two-finger test. So he's going to take 2 fingers. He's going to hold 2 fingers above his eyebrows. And he wants 2 fingers from eyebrows to the top of the helmet, just like that. After that, the next rule that Michael learned is to always buckle the helmet. So we're going to buckle the helmet up, get it nice and snug, and then we're going to take those same 2 fingers, slide it underneath the chin strap. We want 2 fingers underneath the chin strap. Now Michael's ready to go. So Earl, I want you to come step up here for me. So I'm going to tell a story. All right, so Michael, wait. I'll tell you. Good thing Michael's wearing his helmet. So Michael learned all about the importance of wearing his helmet, and thanks to all of your helps, he has a helmet that's properly fitted. So Michael hops on his bike, wearing his helmet. It's a beautiful day. Starts cruising around town, driving, riding, cruising on his bike. He comes to his favorite hill. He likes to bomb down these hills as fast as he can. So he crests the top of the hill, starts cruising down as fast as he can, and all of a sudden a dog runs out in front of him. He swerves, hits a rock, flies over the handlebars, and he crashes. Oh no. How does he look?
Okay.
He's good.
Okay.
Michael's good.
Way to go, Michael.
Thank you. You can sit down. Now I need another volunteer. Who would be the...
All right. It doesn't hurt, folks.
Let's call this one Sparty.
Smarty or Sparty?
Good luck in the big city.
Sparty.
So we got Sparty here. Sparty also learned all about the importance of wearing a helmet. Unfortunately, Sparty thought to himself, I'm a pretty good bike rider. I've never gotten a crash before. Helmets don't look cool. I don't need to wear a helmet. I'm not going to get a crash today. I'm just going to my friend's house. It's a short ride. I'll be fine. So Sparty hops on his bike, not wearing a helmet, starts cruising around town, and he comes to that same hill that Michael went down. And he also likes to go really fast. So Sparty gets to the top of the hill, crests the top of the hill, takes a deep breath, starts cruising down the hill. That same dog runs out in front of him. He swerves, hits a rock, and 3, 2, 1.
You fell a little hard. He's going faster.
Thank you. That's an epic. Poor Sparty.
But it was spectacular.
Don't you think? Who do you think fate turned out better, Sparty or Michael? And so that we cap off every presentation with that demonstration with the kids. And so that's a better smash than the kids do. That's you. To really highlight the importance of why they should wear the helmets. And this presentation or demonstration is a little crude, and we talk to the kids and we're like, this is just for fun. It's just a fun demonstration. But as you can imagine, there's oohs and there's ahs, and they jump up all excited. But we use this as kind of a way to really get their attention and drive home the importance of why they should wear a helmet. Especially those rules of always wearing the helmet, and why, like, even though they may not get in a crash or they've never been in a crash before, they don't know when they're going to get in a crash. They don't know when something's going to run out in front of them, when they're going to hit something, they get in a crash. So we really want to drive home the importance of why they should always wear a helmet. So this is just kind of a snapshot of our 2023 numbers for our Train Your Brain program. We do this in the spring, and we go out to every elementary school in Central Oregon. This past year is 33 elementary schools that we did, 8 of which were all 8 of the elementary schools in the Redmond School District. Amongst all those schools, we reached over 2,000 elementary school students, or 3rd grade students, about 500 plus students in Redmond. And then we gave out over 800 free multi-sport helmets as well to those same kids. That were all kids that did not have a helmet or needed a new helmet for whatever reason. And so that really kind of drives home the impact that our program has on kids. As that video showed earlier, we saw that a helmet, the simple act of wearing a helmet, can reduce the risk of a serious brain injury by up to 88%. So if you see all those kids every year wearing a helmet, and then the influence that they have on their friends and their families and their parents about why everybody should wear a helmet, you can kind of see the potential impact that we can have on, reducing preventable head injuries. Of course, any program such as this, especially with the cost of helmets, is not free. All together, between all our costs, between purchasing helmets, marketing, buying supplies, driving around to all the schools, our staff hours between our athletic trainers that do the presentations, the scheduling, the planning, all that type of stuff, plus volunteer time. We have volunteers that come out that help us with the helmet fitting. Altogether, our total program costs on an annual basis about $40,000. Thankfully, we have some wonderful community partners that have supported us to help put on this program. Traditionally, those 3 are TDS Telecom, which was formerly Ben Broadband, First Interstate Bank, and Summit Health. This past spring, the Kiwanis Club of Prineville came on board to help support this endeavor in the Prineville community, and that's kind of why I'm here today to talk to you guys. Is our hope is that your Kiwanis clubs and the other Kiwanis clubs in Central Oregon would consider kind of coming together as an additional sponsor for this program, to sponsor this program in their communities. Specifically for you guys in the Redmond community, because like I said, we serve, there's about 8 elementary schools in the school district here that we present to. And kind of by and large, it's the Redmond schools that have a larger percentage of kids that request helmets compared to some of the other schools that we go to as well too. So anyways, that's our program. I hope that you guys will consider, I'd love if you guys would consider supporting us, but I'd be happy to answer any questions you have either about the Train Your Brain program or any of our other programs as well too.
Where do you get your helmets, and roughly what's their cost?
We purchase our helmets from a company called Helmets R Us. They're based out of Tacoma, and they each helmet is about, with the logos, because it's about $14 per helmet is what we end up paying by the time we pay for the logos and the shipping and everything else as well too. And so all together,
does it have all the logos on it?
Yep.
It's First Interstate. Okay.
Summit Health, TDS, Center Foundation. This past year for the Kiwanis Club of Prineville, since they just did they came on board a little bit late after we had ordered the helmets, so we put stickers on for them. If the Kiwanis clubs were to come on board, then when we typically order our helmets in November, then we would order them with the additional Kiwanis logo on it as well too.
Stuart, this might be hard to do, but can you break out the Redmond cost of what you would spend generally?
Well, I mean, if you just go by,
Just maybe helmets for Redmond.
Yeah, so you know, if you go by that, that's 240 helmets that we gave out last year to kids in Redmond. You know, at about $14 per helmet. I'm not good at math to do it that quickly. Plus the staff time of driving it. That's that's simple. It's kind of that basic now. But that number changes. What we do is every year we send out a letter to the parents or through the schools that goes home with the parents ahead of time, and then they asking them if their child needs a helmet, and then that kind of gives us an idea of how many kids need helmets, so we know how many to bring. But if there's kids that parents don't send home the letter, and they need a helmet, then we always give them a helmet too. The other thing we do, and I didn't get out, is we have these rack cards, and I'll actually give them to you guys. Brought enough for everybody to have one. You can pass that around. But we send them home each with one of these rack cards too, that has kind of the basic tips for how to make sure the helmet fits properly, and then on the back it has some information about why they should wear the helmets and the importance of that. So every kid gets one of these, and then we also have posters made up that are the same front side, where each classroom gets a poster to put up in their classroom as well too.
So I don't know if you've got information like this, but certainly we think of helmets and we think of riding bikes or skateboarding or football.
Yeah.
What other sports activities lead to more head injuries than we don't commonly think about? Is it soccer or lacrosse?
Yeah.
Or
So the helmets that we give out are only, like we teach the kids, these are only for like bicycling, scootering, biking, because that's what they're designed for. There's lots of other activities like that where they wear helmets, football, rock climbing, motorbiking, all those types of stuff, horseback riding. So we teach that all those activities they should absolutely wear a helmet. But the helmets that we have specifically today are not for those purposes. As far as which ones, are most at risk when you don't think about it, I mean, that's a good question. I'm trying to think of which one, I think, I'm sorry?
I was just saying, the sports you don't wear a helmet
Yeah.
for, like soccer, basketball,
Yeah, so all those things, there's different designs. You're starting to see the head caps in soccer that some people wear. There's been some advances in the football helmets. I think the biggest thing is, we want people to know is that, especially for biking, is I think the law says 16 and older, they don't have to wear helmets. An adult, or it's not required that they wear helmets. So we really want to teach that regardless of your age, you should always wear a helmet, because we've been at presentations before where it's been highlighted that a kid, their parent, had passed away recently from getting in a bike crash, not wearing a helmet. So those are some of the points that we like to drive home too. Yeah.
Well, you guys, I was reading your website, and at least, I don't know if this is for the center or for the foundation, but you've dealt with some 2,000 concussion injuries since you've been around in the last 20 years?
Yeah, I would say we average in the schools that we serve about 200 concussions a year that we treat and manage. And those are ones that, get reported to us, obviously. So, yeah, if you go through the years, then, yeah.
Mostly at the high school level?
Yeah, we don't, that's where we collect our numbers from, because we don't have daily athletic trainers in the middle schools. We do some outreach for them, but we don't have as good of data collection systems to catch the number of concussions in the middle schools and lower age sports. Yeah. Yes.
Yes, this is great. It's quick, it catches their attention, it's dramatic. And I wondered if you knew, though, if there's some other bike training that goes along with it that talks about maybe avoiding those situations with that big hill, and the rules of being on the road with cars, and bike safety to protect your other bones.
Yeah, and in just about every elementary school, I'm actually drawing a blank on the name of the program at the moment, but there is a program that goes around the schools, and they do a bike fair, and they teach them about the rules of the road and all that type of stuff. So a lot of times our schools will want to, when we're reaching out to them to schedule, we do these in April and May typically. They like to kind of schedule our presentations in conjunction at the same time that they're doing their bicycle fair, or right before, so that the kids all have a helmet for that, or right after, so that they can kind of put it all together. So there are programs like that. Our specific focus is on the helmets, but there are lots of programs, especially in the area, that does that part of it as well too.
I grew up in the 80s, 90s, and we didn't wear helmets.
Yeah,
And then it's like, now I won't think of getting on a bike and won't let my kids get on a bike without a helmet.
absolutely.
Like, when did that change? Because, I mean, it's, maybe, I don't think I was an outlaw, but I'd ride a mile to school and a mile back without a helmet.
I think it's probably been in conjunction with the increased awareness in general about concussions and head injuries.
Yeah.
Has changed significantly over the past 20 years. You know, just in the time, I've been an athletic trainer for 15 years, and I would say in that time frame, from when I was in school learning how to be an athletic trainer to now, it's amazing how many increases we've changed, especially in concussions. Now, we teach that helmets don't necessarily prevent concussions. You know, they're designed to prevent catastrophic brain and skull injuries. But, you know, at the same time that there's been that increased awareness and concern about concussions, I think the role of helmets has increased exponentially at the same time as well too.
What about all the e-bikes?
Oh, they should wear helmets, even more so.
But is there a requirement that they?
Not for, no.
You gotta be 16 though, right?
Yeah, there's different classes of e-bikes, and I think if once they hit a different class, then that's when they follow the rules of like motorcycles
Yeah.
and stuff as well too. Kids are not supposed to ride an e-bike unless they're 16, but I see them riding e-bikes all the time. I see people, adults, wearing, you know, they've got the e-bikes that they can rent, you know, in downtown Bend and ride around. They don't have helmets. I think you know, they're going. We teach anytime they're doing an activity faster than the speed of walking or running, you know, which biking obviously push them to, then they should probably be wearing.
Wasn't there a kid in Bend killed?
Yes, there was.
Did he have a helmet, I assume?
Yeah, and I think he was like 14 years old.
Yeah.
So preventable in more ways than one.
Are you also, you go to sporting events too?
I do.
As a trainer?
I do. I'm not full-time in a school right now because I more kind of manage and oversee the program. But I go and fill in and substitute and help out. But my primary responsibility is managing and supervising our team of athletic trainers, and then doing this program. So I've been in this role for 5 years, and before that I was an athletic trainer in North Carolina. But I started my career here for the Center Foundation. I was athletic trainer at Sisters High School for a couple of years before I moved to the East Coast, and then came back about 5 years ago.
Does the center have any relationship with St. Charles, or it's just on the St. Charles campus?
They own St. Charles owns the building that we're in, and that's the extent of our relationship.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
You kept saying athletic trainers and certified and so on. Could you give me a comparable of their training, say, to a registered nurse, paramedic, or anyone else we might?
So we have, that's kind of where athletic trainers shine, is we're very similar to a physical therapist as far as our role and our knowledge of therapeutic rehabilitation and, treating and managing injuries. So we're very closely aligned with physical therapists, but then we also have the acute emergency care knowledge and skills of, say, of an EMT, because we're, obviously are the first response for injuries that happen on the field. So we're going to triage, evaluate the situation, make that referral decision or decision whether to activate EMS and have them come, and then we'll, stabilize them until EMS can arrive. So we have that knowledge and capability as well too. But then we also have the orthopedic injury evaluation skills to, evaluate orthopedic injuries, determine if they've torn their ACL or at different injuries and help make, is this an injury that we can manage in-house and treat, or do we need to refer them to a physician? So we're very unique as far as how broad our knowledge and our skills are, but you know, the concussion management is really where athletic trainers shine as well too.
So, as an athletic trainer, is it your program, what sports do they go to at the high schools?
All sports.
All the sports?
All this OSAA sanctioned sports. Because those are the sports that are, because we have a relationship with the schools, all the club sports aren't run by the schools, so they're kind of on an independent thing. So we don't have since they're all on their own thing, doing their own stuff, we don't really have the connection to, you know, get the, you know, enforce the physicals and the consent to treats and all that type of stuff. But we'll do some contract work for club sports from time to time, but we primarily treat the school sanctioned OSAA sports.
So I'm a high school football official referee.
Yes.
I don't have seen it before or not, but at the middle school level, do you guys work with them at all? Because I know like we've worked football games with them. It's been hit and miss where coaches act as their protocol, and they really have, I mean, even though they're trained, they really have a tendency to jump to the worst conclusion, call EMTs immediately, that kind of stuff, where maybe just a kid is caught his wind and needs to get up and get off the field. But are you guys working with the local middle
We
school
do
programs?
some coverage. You know, we're limited by our staff availability to do a lot, because a lot of times the middle school stuff, you know, conflicts with the stuff at the high schools. But we do in the fall, you know, have athletic trainers about 1 or 2 middle school games a week. You know, so we do some limited stuff, and we've been, you know, that was kind of was a focus to try to expand into middle schools. Since COVID, that kind of took a little bit of a pause, just because we were, with the nature of the uncertainty with sports and some, you know, some staffing challenges. Now that we're in a more stable area, we'd like to start trying to branch out and reach out to the middle schools more so than we.
But what's good with working with you guys is that you can come out there quickly, assess the situation, take care of the kid, get them taken care of quickly, where some of the coaches at the lower levels just don't have that expertise or knowledge.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, and state law dictates, there's a couple of state laws for concussions. There's Max's law, which is for all school sanctioned activities or school things where they have to have a concussion protocol and do concussion education for all the coaches. And then that dictates, one, if a kid gets a concussion, they're not allowed to, or is suspected of concussion, they're not allowed to come back to play until they've been evaluated and cleared by a healthcare professional. So especially where there's no athletic trainer or no healthcare there, then if there's any suspicion of a concussion, that kid's not supposed to come back.
We're back when Chris and I played, they'd see how many fingers I
got. Then there's Jenna's law, which is the same type of law that is designed for club sports and for the non-school sanctioned activities, as they realized that those things needed some governance as well too. Jenna's law actually was based out of a student from Sisters High School, was kind of the inspiration, I guess, for Jenna's law.
How do kids, if they want a helmet, how do they get a helmet? Do they just contact you? Is it that easy?
Yeah, we do get families that reach out to me, you know, during the year that need a helmet, and we have them come in and give them a helmet. The bulk of our helmets we give out in the spring when we go out to the schools.
And then a quick question. I assume you work with Carrie Wood.
I know Carrie, yes.
Yeah, and is she retiring this year? Did I hear might be her last year?
I don't know that for certain, but she's been an athletic trainer for a long time and has been, you know, long-standing in, you know, the state organization and our district organization as an athletic trainer too. But I think she is getting close to retirement. So we don't traditionally serve the Redmond schools through the Center Foundation. That's kind of been a long-standing role of Desert Orthopedics, but I think there's been, I think they're stepping away from that. But for just as long we've been in the Bend schools, but our athletic trainers work closely with Cary and the Redmond and Ridgeview athletic
Well, like
trainers.
Dr. Kingold works with Redmond High School.
Yeah.
Do you teach students as well? Or do you help students? I know Redmond, I know they offered a program where the kids get involved too and get to know them.
Yeah, we will get students that are interested in athletic training. They'll come and, either shadow our athletic trainers to get hours. That's one of the requirements to get into athletic training education program is they have to do a number of shadowing hours. So we'll get students that will come and shadow us as well too. And then apparently sometimes when there's students in the high school that think they might be interested in going into athletic training, they'll come and work with our athletic trainers as well too. So we don't have any classes. We do have actually our athletic trainer in Crook County teaches part-time for the school district, and he does a sports medicine class out there to kind of educate them as well too.
Cool. That was fun. He said throw it as hard as I could.
You're such an overachiever.
We got a little Reverend Kiwanis hand-turned juniper pin. Just to say thanks.
Thank you.
Appreciate what you're doing.
Absolutely. Thank
Yeah,
you very
real
much.
picture. I'll clean this up.